Hello everyone, welcome to our channel We Educate, an initiative by Earthrun. So recently on our website www.earthrun.co.in we posted a quiz on the budget and the economic survey, and we also promised the aspirants that we will be discussing the answers and proper explanation for those questions on our YouTube channel, that is We Educate. So in this video we will be discussing the answers of the quiz. If you have not taken the quiz already, please go to our website to take the quiz, test your knowledge and come back to check your level of preparation. So let's get started. So the first question of the quiz was that consider the following statements. First, Article 121 of the Constitution deals with the annual financial statement. Second, expenditure, receipts and fiscal indicators are the key components of the budget. Which of the above statements is or are correct? Your options were 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2 and neither 1 nor 2. Now to the answer to this, my friends, is answer B, that is 2 only. Now let us see why the first statement is not correct and why is the second one correct. So first of all, before jumping into the actual question, let us know why exactly this question featured in our quiz. So this is so because, as you know, that the union budget has recently been tabled and this question deals with the theoretical part of the budget. Hence we decided to keep this question in our quiz. So your first option was that Article 121 of the Constitution deals with the annual financial statement. Now this statement was wrong. This option was wrong because Article 121 of the Constitution prohibits discussion on conduct of any judge of the Supreme Court or the High Court in the Parliament with respect to the discharge of his duties. Now what does this mean? It means that there cannot be a general discussion about the ways and the normal procedure of how a judge discharges his duties unless and until there is a formal motion that is being presented praying for the removal of the judge. Hence, Article 121 of the Constitution does not deal with the annual financial statement. So what is that article? Article 112 of the Constitution is one that deals with the budget. In every financial year, the estimated receipts and expenditure of the government for that year is presented to the Parliament. Now, your second option was that the budget primarily contains expenditure, receipts, and deficit indicators. This option was correct because the budget contains the estimates of revenue and the capital receipts. It also suggests the ways and means to generate and raise the revenue for the policies suggested. It also presents an estimate of expenditure, giving a rough idea of the resources needed to implement those policies. It also contains the actual receipts and expenditure, the deficit or the surplus, and also mentions the financial policy for the coming year. Therefore, the option B of the first question was the right answer. So moving on to the next question, who among the following prepares and presents the union budget to the Parliament? Your options were Department of Economic Affairs, Department of Expenditure, Department of Financial Services, or the Department of Revenue. Now the answer to this is option A, that is the Department of Economic Affairs. Now let us see why. The budget division of the Department of Economic Affairs under the Ministry of Finance is the nodal body responsible for preparing the budget. Now the process for preparing the budget is an elaborate one and it undergoes many stages. Broadly, there are 6 stages where a circular is issued to ministries so as to ask for their proposals. Then there is a consultation held with all the stakeholders on those proposals received. The next is the allocation of revenues, where decisions are taken as to how much resources will be allocated to one particular ministry or one particular project. There are several pre-budget meetings. Then the budget finally goes to the print. However, since 2021, the budget is not printed on paper but is distributed among the ministers and all the people involved in a digital format. So this is merely a symbolic stage, but it happens. The final is the presentation of the budget, which happens in the parliament. Hence, your option A was the correct answer. That is, the Department of Economic Affairs is responsible for preparing and presenting the budget. The third question was that recently launched PM Gati Shakti aims at 1. Coordinated and efficient execution of infrastructure projects, 2. Lowering the logistics cost involved, and 3. Extending 4G connectivity to every village. Now, which of the above was the correct answer? Your answer was option D, that is all of the above. Now let us see why. So before beginning with the actual explanation, first let us know why did this even come up. So the PM Gati Shakti plan has received its first installment of rupees 20,000 crore through this budget. Now let us see what this PM Gati Shakti is all about. So there is a persistent issue of the lack of coordination and cooperation among the various agencies that are involved in the implementation of any infrastructure project. So this lack of coordination leads to the hampering of the implementation of the project and also delaying it unnecessarily. There are several reasons for this, such as wrong estimation of original project cost, which is often an underestimated one. There is this delay in environmental clearances, industrial licensing permission, road crossing of pipelines, and several other, which cause the bottlenecks in the implementation of any infrastructure project. Hence, to ease out the effective implementation, in 2021, the PM Gati Shakti plan was launched. Now, this is a 100 lakh crore national master plan for multimodal connectivity. So what it is? It is a digital platform which connects 16 ministries to ensure a holistic planning and execution of infrastructure projects. Now all these 16 ministries would be connected through the same platform and they can work with each other in real time. Now this plan aims at the coordinated and efficient execution of infrastructure projects in order to speed development. It also aims at lowering the logistics cost which are involved in any project, because according to a survey and a report, the logistics cost in India involved in any project is around 13 to 14% of GDP against a 7 to 8% of the GDP in any developed economy. There's a huge gap. As you can see, there is this 7 to 8% and a 13 to 14%, which is nearly double the cost. Hence, this PM Gati Shakti plan is aimed at lowering this high logistics cost of 13 to 14% of the GDP to one at par with the developed economies. Also, this plan aims at providing 4G connectivity to every village, giving a boost to the Digital India mission. Hence, your option D was the correct answer. Moving on to our next question. Regarding the recently announced scheme of issuance of sovereign green bonds, consider the following statements. It is a fixed income instrument used to raise money for environmental projects. It will help India reach the net zero target. And the answer to this, my friends, was C, that is both 1 and 2. Now let us see why. So to address the question as to why this question appeared in the quiz, the scheme for the issuance of sovereign green bonds has been announced in this budget. So before, let's break this down, this term sovereign green bonds. Firstly, what do you understand by the term bonds? To put it simply, a bond is a security for a loan which is issued by a borrower to the lender. For example, if someone is taken, if a company is taking a loan from an investor, they would issue the investor a bond which would serve as the security for the loan. There are two types of bonds broadly: the sovereign bond and the private bonds. The private bonds are those which are issued by private companies, corporate sector, and the sovereign bonds which are issued by government or any government agency. Also, there is a difference between sovereign bonds and the private bonds. It is that the money raised from a private bond can be invested in any field as to wherever the corporate or the issuer feels like. But it is not the case with the sovereign bond. The sovereign bonds have a fixed meaning and a fixed purpose, and can only be invested in that particular uh, purpose. Hence, there is a huge difference between private bonds and sovereign bonds. Now, these bonds are a type of fixed income instruments that traditionally pay a fixed rate of interest to the borrower, and that fixed rate of interest too is not very high. Moving on to this term, the green bonds. A sovereign green bond is one issued by the government to fund green infrastructure. So as the name suggests, a green bond is one where whichever money is raised is put to some infrastructure that would be environment friendly, that would help protect the environment. And as mentioned earlier, a sovereign bond is one that is issued by the government. Hence, a sovereign green bond is one which is issued by the government to fund those projects that would safeguard the environment as well as helping the process of development. So, the sovereign green bond is a fixed income instrument. Therefore, your first option was correct. Now, as regarding the net zero claim, unlike usual bonds, which are the private bonds, the amount from a green bond goes specifically to mobilizing resources for environment-friendly development initiatives. As I just said, these bonds have special meaning and special purpose, and whichever money is raised from these bonds, it is directed towards environment-friendly green infrastructure. So this is actually a type of sustainable development which will ultimately help India achieve the net zero claim. Hence, investing in such projects will help in reducing carbon intensity of the economy and will ultimately help India reach this level. Therefore, your option D was the correct answer. The next question was that the Parivesh portal, often seen in news, is related to tax compliance, health sector, women empowerment, or environment clearance. Now the answer to this question was D, that is environment clearance. Let us see the explanation behind it. So the scope of the Parivesh portal has been expanded. Therefore, this question appeared in our quiz. So let us see what Parivesh portal actually is. Parivesh stands for proactive and responsive facilitation by interactive and virtuous environmental single window hub. So as the name suggests, I guess it would have been clear what does this deal with. Still, we will look further and know the details. So this portal was launched in 2018, and it is a digital portal which was developed by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Now this digital portal enables online submission and monitoring of the proposals for seeking environmental clearances. Also, it displays the current status of the proposal at each stage. So this is a digital platform where one can put forward their request for environmental clearances so as to initiate the process of some infrastructure project. This portal also displays the current status of the request as to at which level it is pending still. This move enables and promotes transparency and accountability. There are 4 types of clearances that can be requested for through this portal. There is environmental clearance, forest clearance, wildlife, and even those projects that are near the coastline that require the coastal regulation zone clearance. Those can also be requested for. And one feature is that one single platform can be used to request the district level authorities, the state level, as well as the central level authorities. So a person does not have to reach 3 different levels of authorities or 3 different windows to ask for the permission for regarding one single project. What is new about the changes that have been introduced through this budget is that the centralized processing center green, a single window clearance system, will be added to this portal, which will enable a complete impact assessment of any project, and it would help the government unilaterally decide the proposal as to whether to give it the permission or not. Hence, as you must have got it by now, your answer D, environmental clearance, was the correct answer. Moving on to the next question. Consider the following statements regarding the Parvatmala project. First, it aims at improving military movement in hilly regions. Second, ropeways will be constructed to facilitate connectivity. Third, it will be implemented in a PPP model. And fourth, the Border Road Organization is the nodal agency for the scheme. Now the answer for this is A, that is 2 and 3 only. Let us see how. So again, this question appeared in the quiz because it has been decided that the Parvatmala project will be taken up on a PPP mode, that is public-private partnership mode. So what is Parvatmala? Parvatmala is the National Ropeways Development Program, which is aimed at improving connectivity in hilly areas. Now it is one of a kind project through which the development of ropeways will be taken up. So why this project? Why ropeways? So it is a preferred ecologically sustainable alternative to conventional roads in difficult hilly terrain. So because it is very difficult to construct roadways in hilly areas where the land is not accommodative, therefore ropeways have been suggested as a possible alternative. It is also ecologically sustainable because ropeways need less space to be constructed as compared to conventional roadways. The aim is to improve connectivity and convenience for commuters besides promoting tourism. So the aim is to improve connectivity for commuters. That is, it is not only for the border regions or for the army, but for general convenience. And it also seeks to boom tourism that has taken a hit in this pandemic. Also, it is decided that it will be implemented in a PPP model, that is public-private partnership model, which will involve collaboration between the government agency and the private sector company. Now, the PPP model has its own benefits, and it is a rather efficient way of implementing any important project. Now, the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways has been made the nodal agency for this. It will be responsible for this project. And the BRO, as mentioned in one of the options, the Border Road Organization, it has nothing to do with this particular project, but is responsible for the construction and maintenance of roads in border areas. Therefore, your option A was the correct answer. The next question was that Consider the following statements regarding capital expenditure. It is a short-term, routine expenditure by the government. It results in acquisition of assets. Repayment of loan is also counted as capital expenditure. Now the answer to this is C, that is all of the above. Let us see how. So in this budget, the capital expenditure or the capex as it is generally called, it has been increased by a whopping 35% from 5.54 lakh crore to 7.50 lakh crore. So what is this capital expenditure all about? The capex is the money spent by the government on development of machinery, equipment, building, health facilities, education, etc. So as you can see, these are all long-term benefits or long-term investments that does not necessarily yield quick gains. For example, a hospital recently erected may not cater to the needs of every patient, but with time, with development, it certainly will. Therefore, it is aimed at long-term benefits. Also, it leads to both creation and acquisition of assets that are long-term in nature and will allow the economy to generate revenue for many years. For example, a machinery once bought need not be changed every year. Therefore, it is an asset created and it is an asset acquired, which will help the economy, which will serve the economy for many years. Also, the repayment of a loan is also considered as a capital expenditure because it reduces the liability on the government. Therefore, your option C was the correct answer. Meanwhile, in the budget speech, our honorable finance minister also mentioned that the capital expenditure holds the key to speedy and sustainable revival of the economy. Therefore, the capital expenditure is one of the most important features, spendings of the government, and as honorable minister mentioned, it is the key to sustainable revival. Therefore, your option C was the correct answer. Moving on to the next question. Consider the following statements regarding digital rupee. First, it will be issued by the National Payments Corporation of India. Second, it will make use of blockchain technology. So the correct answer was B, that is 2 only. Let us see why. So the digital rupee is unarguably one of the most talked about topics of the budget this year. So the sovereign digital currency or the digital rupee has been announced. So what it is? It is a central bank digital currency which will be a legal tender. Note the word legal tender here. It means that it will be accepted in the country just as a normal rupee note is accepted. Unlike any other cryptocurrencies which are not legally acknowledged, the digital rupee will be issued by the central bank and it will be legal tender. That is, the transactions will be the transactions in this very medium, the digital rupee, would be acknowledged by the government and will have a legal backing. It has also been announced to provide users with convenience and security of traditional banking system. So unlike the other cryptocurrency systems which do not come with any security, this digital rupee will come with the convenience of the same cryptocurrency as users are used to, but with the security of traditional banking system. The Reserve Bank of India will be authorized to issue the digital rupee. Therefore, your option 1 was incorrect. That is, the National Payments Corporation of India will not issue. Rather, it will be the Reserve Bank of India which will be issuing this digital rupee. Also, regarding the second option, blockchain method. So the blockchain technology is one of the most talked about, again one of the most talked about topics of the recent times. So what it does is that it distributes trust from powerful intermediaries to a large global network. Each time a block is accessed and some information is recorded, it goes into the blockchain as permanent database. This creates a chain of blocks, that is the blockchain. So the blockchain technology, it actually promotes anonymity and it distributes the whole information into blocks. And these blocks, uh, when uh, when they get accumulated or when they get connected, they make a blockchain. Hence, the digital rupee will use the blockchain technology. Therefore, your option C was the correct answer. Here comes the second last question. Consider the following recently announced schemes and their purpose. The Desh Stack e-portal, Gift City, PM Divine, skill development of youth, world-class infrastructure development, and revamping of important shrines. Which of the above pairs are correctly matched? And the correct answer was A, that is 1 and 2 only. Now let us see why. So all these schemes that have been mentioned in the question are the ones that are announced in this budget. So the Desh Stack e-portal stands for Digital Ecosystem for Skilling and Livelihood. This portal will be launched to empower the youth to skill, reskill or upskill through online training. This will not only help them develop a specific skill, but will also help them become more employable. The Gift City. The Gujarat International Finance Tech City is India's first operational smart city with the development of world-class infrastructure. Now, in this budget, it has been announced that foreign universities with world-class facilities will also be allowed at the Gift City. The PM Divine, that is Prime Minister's Development Initiative for Northeast region, is a scheme which will fund infrastructure and social development projects specifically in the Northeast. Therefore, your option A was the correct answer. Now the last but not the least question. Consider the following statement regarding the Har Ghar Nal Se Jal scheme. It aims to provide piped drinking water to every rural home by 2025. It is a component of the Jal Jeevan mission. Which of the following above statements is or are correct? Now the answer to this is B, that is 2 only. So what is wrong with the first option? Let us see. So again, this scheme featured in our quiz because there is a recent allocation of rupees 60,000 crore that has been made to this particular scheme, which will help it to cover more than 3.8 crore households in this financial year. So what is Har Ghar Nal Se Jal? This is a scheme launched in 2019 by the Ministry of Jal Shakti, and it aims to provide piped drinking water to every rural household by 2024. So this 2024 makes your first option incorrect because it said that the scheme aims to provide piped drinking water by 2025. Therefore, your option 1 was incorrect. It is a component of the government's Jal Jeevan mission. It is a part of it. Therefore, your option B was your option B is the correct answer. We will be back soon with part 2 of this video, which shall have the explanation of question 11 to 20 of the quiz. We hope that you liked the explanation up to this part and also learned from your mistakes that you made in the quiz. So thank you so much for watching the video. Please do leave a like and subscribe to our channel if you found this helpful. Also, don't forget to check out our website www.earthrun.co.in, and also our Instagram page @earth_run. Thank you so much.